Hi there. As you can probably deduce from the screen behind me, this is not my first attempt at doing a video today. I've been very busy all summer. It's been one of those family summers where I have been visiting, people have been visiting me, I've been through 3 provinces. It's been a pretty hectic summer. So doing videos has had a fairly low priority. I did make a couple of attempts earlier to shoot a couple of videos. I was not really happy with them. They smacked of the term content creator. They seem to be me just doing a video for the sake of doing a video. I'm not a big fan of that term, content creator. It sort of implies that your only purpose is to create content. It doesn't really imply any particular usefulness or quality to that content. Quite often it's just a mess of B-roll with an elongated review that sounds more like an ad for a product. Enough about that. I don't want to insult anyone out there, so let's move on. In the past, of course, I have probably been accused more than once of being the old fart who likes old cameras. And in some ways that hasn't changed. You may have heard me rant on here in the past about 6 megapixel and 10 megapixel CCD cameras. And here's another one. This is a Pentax K100D. And the thing that's happened is that I had an extremely low mileage version of one of Pentax's first digital SLR cameras. Their first commercial model was not very successful. It was the funny name, Asterix Ist D. It used compact flash cards. It was quite compact. It ran on AA batteries. But it was never terribly successful because it was quite expensive for what it was. And very soon afterwards, they brought out the DS. Now, the S model was a slimmed-down version with secure digital SD cards instead of compact flash. It still used AA batteries, still had a solid glass prism, was a very nice camera. Well, I had one of those. I've had it for quite some time. It's one that came to me in a purchase of a lens somewhere along the line. It was extremely low mileage, only around 5,000 shutter actuations on it. So I decided I was going to take it to our summer place and just keep it there. Well, 2 doors down, one of our neighbors came to me one day and said, I have a limited budget for a digital camera. Can I get something that I can enjoy using? I used to shoot film with a Minolta. I had several lenses. I'd like to have something closer to that experience. Well, his budget wouldn't really have bought him anything new, so I suggested, here, for 1/3 of what you want to spend, you can have this. So he took the DS and a very nice 28-70 f4 lens. Well, a week or so later, he came back to me and said, this takes really great pictures, but I'd like something wider. Do you have anything wider? Well, of course, at the time, I didn't really. But then I recalled the fact that I had given a camera to someone who probably wasn't using it. Sure enough, it had sat on the shelf ever since I gave it to them. So I asked, well, if you aren't going to use it, can I have it back? I have someone who needs that lens. And they said, sure. So the 18-55 kit lens went to the person I had sold the camera to, and I got back my old K100D Super. Now, it has ups and downs. It has an even smaller buffer than the DS. It has a penta mirror instead of a pentaprism. And although the build quality is not really much different, it doesn't have that same solid feel that the DS had. However, it will drive lenses with the motor in the lens. Pentax's later lenses with the SDM motors. And I happen to have one of those lenses, which was a sort of a super zoom. It was 18-135. And it just makes the ideal little package for me. This actually focuses quite quickly with this lens. Not bad at all. As I said, the buffer is hopeless. The image quality is quite good. It is only 6 megapixels, so don't expect to be cropping. And it has things like shake reduction, which is, of course, in-body image stabilization. And it has a little sensor shake mechanism that keeps most of the dust off the sensor. So it's a nice little carry-around camera. And so here I am again, back in the 6 megapixel game. Well, I guess you can call us the 6 megapixel club, the few Pentax owners who still use those old cameras. But they still have their place. Remember, most people are not going to be viewing any images on anything bigger than a 4K screen. A 4K screen is about 8 megapixels. These cameras are 6 megapixels, so they will almost fill that screen. I have prints up to 20 by 30 from a 6 megapixel Pentax. So it is capable of large prints, especially if you're printing on canvas, which is somewhat more forgiving of any minor little issues with sharpness. So for most people, it's plenty of camera. So that, as you can see from the examples I've been showing, is pretty much the point of this video. I'm back with the old cameras again, but they are not my primary cameras. My primary camera is still like the one that's shooting here now, an Olympus. And I still have the K3, which is a 24 megapixel APS-C Pentax camera. So I'm still very much into more modern. Notice that none of my models are brand new. None of them are the latest generation. But more modern versions than an antique like this right here. I hope you enjoyed the images that I've shown through this video, which were all taken with this antique, except of course the image of the antique itself. And give some thought to that fact. If you have an older camera, if you have no use for it, and it still works, maybe you can gift it to somebody who is truly interested in photography. It's no point in handing this over to a teenager and saying, here, it's a real camera. No, 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 no. They are acclimatized now to that phone and using that phone as a camera. If you want them to actually use a quote-unquote real camera, then what you are going to have to do is teach them enough about it so that they will want to use it. But if they do, there you go. And of course, you might end up in the situation I was in where you get someone around my age who has never had a good digital camera, but did have excellent film gear, and who just want to get back to the, I guess you could say, the feel of using a quality piece of photographic equipment rather than just pointing a phone at something. Well, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you would like to see more of my videos, then subscribe to this channel. And of course, if you think anybody's getting anything useful out of this particular video, then share it. Well, bye for now.